Hey, welcome to another episode of Geek Money Life. So Dave Ramsey, you probably heard of him if you spend any time on YouTube. And if you haven't, you can look him up and you see exactly who Dave Ramsey and his brand is. Now, Dave Ramsey is really touted as somebody who's very conservative and practical in the way that he talks about eliminating debt and also building long-term wealth. And one of the key strategies, or basically the core of his entire messaging, is Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. Now, if you're not familiar with what they are, I will leave a link to the description area below so you can check that out on his website. But at least for me, I actually went through Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, and this is what happened. And so there's really 3 main baby steps, the first 3 that most people will go through. And then the other 4 steps afterwards, I don't think many people will get there because it's pretty hard to get through the first 3 baby steps. So what are the first 3 baby steps? So the first one is to save up $1,000. So that is something that I think the majority of people can achieve. The second one is going to be the hardest. And this is where I think a lot of people get stuck. And that is eliminating all your debt that is not your mortgage. This is by far the most difficult and challenging one. And at least for me, it was really hard because I, like many other people, especially here in the United States, do have a lot of debt or did have a lot of debt. And then the third one, well, let's go ahead and get to the first 2 steps first and I'll talk about the third one. And so saving up $1,000, I was able to do that. So that really gave me a sense of accomplishment. And I think that's one of the whole points of having his baby steps to be very simple and achievable for most people. So that one I was able to do. And then the big one, eliminating your debt that's not your mortgage. And this one was so hard because I, like many other people, have credit card debt, I've had loans. Thankfully, I already got rid of my school loans before I did the Dave Ramsey baby steps, but I also had other outstanding debt as well. And all of those things combined seem insurmountable because I, like many other people, whenever we see debt, especially if it's a lot of debt, it seems like we're never gonna get rid of it, especially if you consider stuff like your credit card, which has a lot of high interest, so you're barely paying the actual principal on your credit. And that's not including any other stuff that you had, including your mortgage, and then if you had a car payment, there's a lot of ways debt could actually come into your life and just stay there. But by following Dave Ramsey's baby step plan, I was actually able to eliminate all my debt that's not mortgage related. And thankfully, I currently do not have a mortgage. And so basically, I eliminated all my debt. And this one was probably the single biggest benefit to me. And I could not believe this happened. And once I became debt free, it was like a whole new world and universe that opened up. And let me tell you, the way in which I was able to pay off the debt, I'm still amazed myself because in general, I was able to get rid of all my debt in about 1 year, and it was almost like $50,000 worth of debt. And because I followed his baby step, which is basically you focus all your energy, you work like crazy, you live like nobody else, or basically you work like nobody else so then you could live like nobody else later on. Those are actually all true, and I worked so hard. Basically, every moment I was doing some type of work to earn income to actually pay off my debt. And those months where I was paying like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, sometimes $6,000, $7,000 on my debt just blew my mind. Set up your business easily and legally with incredibly affordable rates at Incfile. Join more than 500,000 businesses and launch your business today. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below. I never thought I would be able to put that much amount of money towards debt. And even before that, I never thought I would have that much money left over after paying all my expenses. So that step alone was absolutely huge. And I really can't explain or describe to you the overall feeling of being debt-free. And so just those 2 steps alone, especially the second one, eliminating your debt that doesn't include your mortgage, is probably going to be the most amazing thing that most people will actually experience if they follow his plan. Which leads me to the third step, which is an emergency fund. Typically, Dave Ramsey like to say save like 3 to 6 months for emergencies. So in this case, if you were to lose your job, your business, something happened in your life, you would have about 3 to 6 months worth of money available on hand to actually help you live month to month. And I've already exceeded that myself. I have about a year, a little over a year in my emergency plan. So that is another huge thing. And then the other baby steps are 4. It has to do with saving 15% of your income towards retirement, which I'm heading towards. And then I would think like number 5 is save money for your college kids funds. Okay, so I think that's number 5. And then number 6 is to pay off your mortgage, which is the hardest thing to do for the vast majority of people because that is normally our largest debt. And then finally, when you get to step number 7, where you actually have attained wealth, you could finally give like nobody else. And so I would say following Dave Ramsey's baby steps is really awesome. And I really feel for most people, if you do follow his baby steps, then it's really going to lead you to a better life. At least it has for me. And even though I won't follow all his steps to a T, and Dave Ramsey probably doesn't like to hear that, for example, I still use a credit card, but I really feel the benefits, as long as you're financially responsible of getting the points, rewards, and everything else, I think it's well worth it because they're going to be spending the money anyway. And then other things he talks about, investing for retirement, all those things are well and good, but I'm going to put my own things towards it. So if you're able to get through baby steps 1, 2, which is the most important one, and then 3, I really feel your entire world, your financial and your just life in general is going to be better and you're going to have way more options. So those are my thoughts on Dave Ramsey's baby steps. I really feel it is valuable, and at least for me, this is the only thing that's actually worked. As simple and practical as it is, if you actually follow through, take consistent action, and keep moving forward, I think it's well worth it. So if you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my money or debt-free videos, I do have playlists for those. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.